Gotcha.
So you might be asking, why use the Bazelreid Rookslayer rather than the Destruction's Overture while fighting Nergigante? Well, I actually tested not just those two horns, but also the heavy bone horn, because that's kind of like the trio of horns that get really good damage. And the reason that we end up using Bazelreid is because Bazelreid gets that white sharpness bar, and the white sharpness bar actually increases your ability to deal part break damage. Okay, so Nergigante's big weakness is just consistently breaking his horns, so he's never able to go into a Nergi dive bomb, right? The spikes eventually they turn black, he does his jump in the air, and if he gets to the point of reaching a Nergi dive bomb, that means you're not stunning him as much as you could be. See, when his spikes break, he usually either stuns or he just topples over, one or the other. So having Bazelreid Rookslayer as one of the hardest hitting horns of the kind of damaging trio, right? But also the one that has the white sharpness bar, it just kind of makes sense, doesn't it, right? With the other two horns, Destruction's Overture and Heavy Bone Horn, I was actually able to solo Nergigante. It was somewhere around 7 and 8 minutes for those, but for the Bazelreid Rookslayer, I actually finally got it under 5 minutes. It mostly had to do with the fact that, you know, his spikes kept breaking. So for fighting Nergigante, we're going to have to say Bazelreid Rookslayer is your best option. So what does this mean? It means I recommend going over to your loadouts, adding one that's called like Hunting Horn versus Nergi or Nergigante Horn Counter, whatever you want to call it. You'll have the weapon be Bazelreid Rookslayer. Be sure to bring your handicraft up to 5. If you've got part breaker jewels, bring a part breaker jewel. And other than that, just get your weakness exploit going. For me, I went maximum might. I don't know if that's the best setup, but I don't know. It worked for me in this case, and I didn't even solo him that many times, honestly. So I think I can get that number down. Alright, so as I mentioned in my earlier video, I am done reviewing most of the hunting horns. Really just is whatever new hunting horns come out. So at this point, when I work on the hunting horns, I'll just be revising what I already know and improving on it and coming to you guys with more information as, you know, as I experience it and as I run into it. Alright, well I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
just want to thank y'all so much.